Hi, this is Editor Troxel. In this tutorial we're going to continue where we left off in the previous tutorial where we were adjusting the parameters of effects that are on the timeline. In this tutorial we're going to go ahead and adjust the effects as well, but now we're going to see how we can add keyframes so that the effects can change over time. So let's see how we can add keyframes to these effects. Let's begin by taking a quick look at the script that we were using last week. First of all, we had to do the enable QE, then we got the app sequence and the QE sequence, then we got the app track and the QE track, then we got the app clip and the QE clip, and then we got the effect to apply on the QE side, and then we added that effect to the QE clip. Then we found the effect that we added on the app clip. Notice the name was different on this side. Then we got the property for the blurriness from the effect, and then we changed the blurriness value to 300. That was to set a single value, and today we want to set multiple values via keyframes. So let's get rid of this and go down to our new set keyframe routine. So we have our set keyframe. We're going to pass it the my effect, which has the property we're going to look at. This is the property that we're going to use, so property 0. This is the time code that we want to set the keyframe, and this is the value that we want to set the keyframe. So for the second one, we're going to, at 2 seconds in, change the value to 300. So let's take a look at the new set keyframe routine. This is the set keyframe routine. As I said, we're passing the effect, the parameter number, the keyframe offset, and the key value. So the first thing we need to do is get the property using the parameter number that we passed it from the effect. Now we check to see if it is time varying. If it is not, then we set time varying equal to true. By setting time varying equal to true, that's the same as clicking on the little clock beside the blurriness parameter in the effect list, and so you cannot set keyframes unless time varying is set to true. Let's create a new time variable, and this is going to be our key offset value that we assign to the seconds. Then I've got this little routine here, just kind of a safety check, getting a new time variable to find the nearest keyframe. If there was one already at that setting, then we'll go ahead and set the new value to that keyframe. If there was not one at that value, then we're going to add a new keyframe at that position and then find it again. Then we will set the new value out of that new keyframe, which is now at my time, to the key value that we passed to the routine, and this (1) means to go ahead and update the Premiere user interface. So now let's go back up here and run this and see what happens. So now this is completed running. Let's come over here and look at our clip. You will see that our image here has the value set to 300. If we get off and get back on, it is set to 300. The time varying clock is set to true, but you notice there are no keyframes. There are no keyframes listed here. Unfortunately, it appears that you cannot add a keyframe to a still image using the scripting. So let's delete this, and I have a video clip on the timeline. Let's just pull that over here, and let's try running this again. So we now run this again, this time on the video clip that we have on the timeline. So let's come back over here and we look at our video, and you will see up here that we do indeed have 2 keyframes listed here. So if we go to the second keyframe, which is at the 2 second mark, you'll see that the value is set to 300, and if we go to the first keyframe, which is set at the 0 mark, you'll see that the value is set to 0. So as this is played back over time, in the beginning, notice it gets blurrier and blurrier as time passes by until you get to the 2 second point, at which time it is as blurry as it's going to get for the rest of the clip. So as we can see, it works fine on a video clip, but it does not work on a still image. As you can see, adding the keyframes is a fairly easy process. You just need to make sure you know what time code you need to add the keyframe to and what setting you want to use for that keyframe. And then we wrote the little routine that would add the keyframe at the specified time code so that we could easily change the value for that specific time. Please sign up at www.JETDV.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.